Much of the team's focus may lie back home in Athens and on tomorrow night, but if the Rock Lobsters want to remain perfect on the season, they cannot afford to take the new faces in Florence lightly. Are the IceCats eyeing to bring the Rock Lobsters down a peg, or will Athens pillage South Carolina today before disappointing the state of North Carolina tomorrow? Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to the Florence Center and one of the new destinations in the FPHL, Florence, South Carolina, where the Pee Dee IceCats welcome the Athens Rock Lobsters. My name is Mattine Rad, and the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show starts right here and right now. Things could not have gone better for the Rock Lobsters in their opening weekend last weekend against the Indiana Sentinels, in which they outscored the Sentinels 17-2 over those two games. The new kids on the team got in on the fun early. The grizzled vets were able to get their wheels turning, and the news has only gotten better since then. It came out earlier this week that the team would be returning Kayson Gallant and Daniil Glukharyov back to Athens. The youngsters scored a collection of 61 goals between the two of them last season. Meanwhile, the Pee Dee IceCats have a bit of a mixed bag in their first four games. The first game back in Pee Dee brought electricity through the Florence air, but they fell in an overtime heartbreaker against the Columbus River Dragons. Since then, they've won two of their last three, but fell last game against their New Carolina rivals, the Twin City Thunderbirds, 5-2. Let's take a look at the Akins Ford engine starters and the very special lineup that Garrett Rutledge is putting out there tonight. Daniil Glukharyov back with Garrett Milan, with ECHL veteran Eric Neely on the other wing. Joe Mack makes his pro debut alongside the top FPHL player of last week. And then Filip Virgili scored 4 goals in that second game against Indiana. And last year's leading scorer in the FPHL, Kayson Gallant, on the other side. Even the third line is no slouch, centered by an FPHL champion in Chris Mott, with 60-point earner from last season, Glenn Van Durken on the left, and Luke Croucher on the right, who opened up his pro career with 6 points last weekend. Jesse Lowell will be the 10th forward tonight. The pairs look as such, with the top pair of Shinkarik and Kolatarsi unchanged. Michael Greco will partner up with a new big body in Jack Johansson. Third pair is a pair of youngsters in Jordan Rosenbaum and Matt Garcia. Our lineup is brought to you by Akins Ford. If you're going to buy a new Ford truck, why not deal with the biggest and best Ford dealership in the Peach State? That concludes tonight's Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show. Piedmont, real change lives here. There's a fresh buzz around the city here in Florence, South Carolina. About a 4-hour drive for those of you traveling from Athens here to Florence. You can tell just how excited these fans are to have hockey back in Florence, South Carolina. And it looks like we've got a nice little pregame show here. Definitely some nice projection out on the ice. The Rock Lobsters were out on the ice perhaps 5 or 6, 7 minutes ago, still awaiting the arrival of the Pee Dee IceCats. If you're wondering who's impressive on the IceCats this year, especially on the forward side, look no further than Trevor Lord. He had a great year last year in Watertown as captain of the Wolves, 38 goals and 47 assists. He's currently tied for the FPHL lead in points with 4 goals and 5 assists. Starters being announced here in Pee Dee. And Houston Wilson just getting announced. It's a well put together squad for the Pee Dee IceCats. Marcin Kevitz, breeding 2 twins, the family of Patrick's and Dominic's Marcin Kevitz. They've been huge authors of the narrative thus far in the start of the season here in Pee Dee. Time for the national anthem here at the Florence Civic Center.
Thank you. Please remain standing. Gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor the singing of the national anthem being performed tonight by Mr. Bill Cobb.
anthem is sung. The skaters are out on the ice. Crustacean Nation, are you ready for hockey? Watching at home. Tomorrow, you'll be watching in the stands. Starters for the Athens Rock Lobsters deployed by Garrett Rutledge. Carter McPhail in between the pipes once again, just as he was in Game 1 of the season. Defensive pair of Carter Shinkarik and Joe Kolatarsi there once again. They've shaved Kolatarsi's head once again, showing that shaved head look is Kola. And, of course, an elite forward line in the making. Garrett Milan in the center, Eric Neely on the right, and Daniil Glukharyov on the left. Are we in for something special tonight to see these returners in Kayson Gallant and Daniil Glukharyov? It's already been an interesting chemical mixture looking at how the team performed last weekend. Can Glukharyov and Gallant add something to that? Seems likely so. Carter Shinkarik having to return, not realizing that there was another ceremonial puck drop here. Trevor Lord, captain last year in Watertown, captain this year in Pee Dee. It's local hero night tonight in Florence. Fire captain Jeffrey Allen dropping one of the ceremonial pucks here. Little tap on the chest between Lord and Shinkarik. Pee Dee 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss so far this season. That's good enough for 7 points. They currently lead the Continental Division, but the Rock Lobsters hot on their tails despite having played 2 less games. Perfect 2-0 on the year thus far for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Can they make it 3-0 tonight, or do the IceCats have something to say on their home ice? Face-off won by the IceCats. It's all the way back to starting goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez. But Rock Lobsters with a good forecheck here at the start will have to pick the puck up in the neutral zone. Houston Wilson with some speed. He proved himself a nuisance last season for the Rock Lobsters as a member of the Monroe Moccasins. And, of course, some history there between Wilson and Milan, former roommates together in the SPHL. Both teammates on the Pensacola Ice Flyers. Face-off going to be taken here in the near side corner to the left of Carter McPhail. Slapped over to Eric Neely. Left for Shinkarik. Tries to cut the ice towards Daniil Glukharyov. Gonzalez asked for the icing. It'll be granted to him. Daniil Glukharyov had a slow start to his American hockey career last season, but exploded for 21 goals and 20 assists. 6 multi-goal games last year for the Russian. Not the only countryman on the Athens Rock Lobsters this year. He's joined by Gleb Van Durken. Van Durken telling me that both him and Glukharyov good friends. Milan pokes in at Trevor Lord. McPhail stops it in the trapezoid. Comes off of an IceCat behind the net. Rock Lobsters getting caught in their own zone. Shot comes, but wide from Lord. Puck is there in the corner to be won. Eli Rivers back to the line, comes back off of him, the shot from the blue line. Play in from behind the net. Calamity out in front of the Rock Lobsters net. They got to do something with it. Daniil Glukharyov with a poke check. Athens can't get it out. Shot from distance. Goes wide. Picked up on the near side by Charlie Bedard, one of the newest IceCats for this Pee Dee team. Ooh, Eric Neely on the break here. Backhand, forehand. Good save there from Gonzalez. Really the first save he's had to make. Pile of bodies here. Shot came from the line. Michael Greco with the effort. Joe Mack, the first touch of a puck in his professional career. McPhail will pass it down himself. That's going to be another icing against the Rock Lobsters. No, it's not. Waved off by the linesman there. One back by Athens. Virgili, really clever no-look pass behind him. On the doorstep was Joe Mack. He'll be hungry to get his professional career going. Another shot from the line from Michael Greco. Pad save from Gonzalez. Greco, second bite of the cherry. That one's deflected off the pad of Gonzalez and into the netting. Little more than 2 minutes gone here in Florence, and a very, very physical game between these two teams. It's been a great start to the power play on the year for Athens, but we'll see what happens because Pee Dee have not been troubled on the penalty kill thus far this year. Gallant back to the line. Greco takes another shot, perhaps his third or fourth shot of the game already for the man who's more well known for his hits. Here he is again, back for another new Athens Rock Lobster. Jack Johansson gives it away at the line. Poked back into the neutral zone here on the ice. And on the puck is Tamir Razilov. Here's Razilov again. Out of Novochebarsk, Russia. Luke Croucher gets edged off the biscuit. Slapped off the glass. Hit off the puck there on Croucher. Officials didn't see anything wrong with it. Good forecheck here from Gleb Banderkin. Mott off the end boards. Picked up by Pee Dee despite the good forecheck there from Croucher. Croucher lets it run. Picked up by Dominik's Marcinkevich. Marcinkevich, great move to get in a zone. Swallowing that one up was Carter McPhail. McPhail, a great, great save there. They're crediting that as the first shot on net for the Pee Dee IceCats, according to the scoreboard here. 16:41 left in the first period. Puck once again slapped off the glass. Croucher using that speed that he displayed in droves last weekend. Chris Mott gets something on it, but not much. Good defense there from Austin Pickford. Banderkin doing a lot on both sides of the puck right now, trying time and time again to win it back. Croucher. His involvement in the game thus far has come on the forecheck. Taking it away is Chance Adrian. Chance here potentially for the Rock Lobsters. Milan able to find a good shot. Creation for Carter Shinkarik. Shinkarik getting up in the attack from the blue line. They'll change pairs. Glukharyov, big Russian body, getting in the mix. Trying to look to deflect it out in front, but it met a Pee Dee body in front of him before it ever reached the Russian. Milan tries to shake it free, gets pushed in behind by Alex Ray. Charlie Bedard with a dump in. Garcia, good hit, good check in the corner. Jordan Rosenbaum, it's a young pair of defensemen. An attempt at a hit up high there on Daniil Glukharyov. Jake Jurgenite trying to dole one out on the Russian. A little less than 15 minutes, rather 5 minutes gone in this first period. 15 minutes, somewhat to go. Pee Dee have put some good pressure on the Rock Lobsters thus far. Kayson Gallant getting caught in behind the Rock Lobster net. Athens trying to get it out. They can't, and Pee Dee have their goal. Wasn't the start that Athens was dreaming of, and making them pay is Jake Jurgenite, his first goal of the season. came into the day with just 3 games of pro experience last season in the SPHL with the Evansville Thunderbirds. And in his first game as an Ice Cat, he's able to ripple the net and make it 1-0 for the hometown team. Oh my goodness, it's already getting tense here on the opening face-off. Back and forth there between Jesse Lowell and Alex Ray. Jake Jurgenite. Marcin Kevitz with the assist there. Been a great playmaker already. Took a bounce out in front of McPhail. Off the skates of Croucher. No doubt Ice Cats have had the edge in this game, but Croucher with a chance there to make it even. Icing going against the Pee Dee IceCats. Still very early on in this matchup, but the Rock Lobsters have found it difficult to deal with the intensity. Will that change after this media timeout? Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
At Athens Stonecasting, Don Hill oversees acres of sculptures poured from thousands of molds. Endless possibilities for neighbors who envision unique gardens. Craig Meeks at First American Bank and Trust caught that vision. Together, Don and Craig create solutions that keep the business teeming with new gifts for the garden. Vision. It's one of the core convictions we live by. Learn more about what we stand for at firstamericanishere.com. First American Bank and Trust.
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Goal was indeed Jurgenite from Patrick's Marcin Kevitz to open up the score here in Pee Dee. That came at the 5:08 mark. But an offensive zone draw here for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Let's see what they can do with it. Garrett Milan sweeps it back to the line. Kolatarsi, freshly shaven head, finds Eric Neely, whose shot gets blocked in the far circle. Kolatarsi has one drip in and off of Neely. Pee Dee working the other way. Head on a swivel from Carter McPhail. Neely, cross-ice pass. Carter Shinkarik dumps it into the near corner. Kolatarsi makes a somewhat risky step up, but the pass is loose from the IceCats. Rock Lobsters have it back in their possession. They might have more than that. Garrett Milan was looking to go 5-hole on Gonzalez. Finally, the Rock Lobsters starting to show their talents in this game. Garrett Milan with a breakaway chance, but a stellar save there from Ricardo Gonzalez. Gonzalez took over the crease last season in Motor City after Trevor Babin got traded to Columbus. Had a 13-17 record. Still more than half of this first period to go. Gonzalez chooses to cover with not really any crustaceans around the crease. Ty Benton asking, they don't have you in a corner like last week's games in Indiana. They kind of do here. It's definitely a much better view. I'm not right on the glass like I was in Columbus, Indiana. Shot right off of the faceoff from Joe Mack. In my talks with head coach Garrett Rutledge, he had a lot to say about Mack, saying he's constantly scoring goals in practice. A little niggling injury last weekend kept him out of the game, but he is back in the mix this weekend to make his first pro start. Can he make an impact in his first game? This is a line that is known for moving their feet. Great move by Garcia to take that puck with him. Tries to center it. Not really anybody there. Off the half wall. Mack pokes at it. Big hit laid by Garcia there on Chance Adrian. To the near side. Jake Jurgenite, the goal scorer. McPhail needs to be careful not to get caught out here. Force overturned by Kayson Gallant. Rather, turnover forced. Looking for the top shelf was Milan, who's starting to buzz around like the FPHL MVP knows to do. Timur Razilov. Here for Dominik's Marcinkevich. Penalty going against the Athens Rock Lobsters. They'll have the first penalty kill of the night. A lot of pushing and shoving in front of McPhail's net. Not the first time we've seen that. Believe it's Marcinkevich who's still slow to get up. Part of the two Latvian twins that this team possesses. Experience in the ECHL for both of them in the Atlanta Gladiators. So perhaps Eric Neely more than familiar with both of them. Momentum was starting to go the Rock Lobsters' way, but now they'll have a penalty to deal with. The call is 2 minutes for Michael Greco roughing. Right now, the power play is sitting at 25% for the Pee Dee IceCats. 5 for 20 so far on the year. They rank second behind the Athens Rock Lobsters. Exactly where in the ice this face-off is taking place is right where my blind spot is. There's a bit of a lighting rig that hangs up above the ice that keeps me from seeing all the action here. Rock Lobsters on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. And they're able to clear their zone early. If you get in trouble with the law, make sure you call Leslie Jones Law. Rock Lobsters trying to get themselves out of some early trouble here. Athens have done a good job at creating a wall at their own blue line. Taken back around by Austin Pickford. Pickford, the D-man on this power play unit. Very difficult for Pee Dee to get set here. The Rock Lobsters looking cleaner in their protection of the ice as Jesse Lowell lays a big hit. Shot out in front. McPhail has to go from one spot of the crease to the other coast. 1 minute to go. That one trickles off of McPhail. Trying to load back. McPhail doing a good job at staying mobile in his crease, and there's 50 seconds to go on the Pee Dee power play. Patrick's Marcinkevich. A speedy skater to say the least, but it's taken off him and sent all the way down. Here's Konstantin Cherniuk. Dominik's Marcinkevich. Oh my goodness, what a tight angle snipe from Dominik's Marcinkevich. Athens did a good job, for the most part, protecting their side of the ice during that Pee Dee power play. But what can you do when Dominik's Marcinkevich finds the top shelf from that tight of an angle? Athens needs to take a deep breath here. Definitely not the start that they were hoping for, especially when you keep in mind that the Athens Rock Lobsters will open their home account tomorrow against the Twin City Thunderbirds. McPhail with a giveaway. Good save there from McPhail. Athens finding themselves down early, 2-0. And the Marcinkiewicz twin brothers are already having an impact on this game. An assist for Patrick's, and now a goal for Dominic's. We'll be right back after this commercial break. More hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobsters Network.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
If there were any nerves from the Pee Dee IceCats about what the Rock Lobsters did last weekend against the Indiana Sentinels, those nerves would have been settled by now. But they have to be careful not to rest on their laurels. Virgili unable to take that puck with him on the deke in the far circle. Kayson Gallant pokes it free, forecheck. Falls for Gallant! Looking for Mack at the back door, couldn't slam it shut. Here's Mack again. Beautiful little pass to Carter Shinkarik on the left dot. Gallant has it again, gives it away. Joe Mack. Joe Mack protects it initially, then gives it away there to Alex Ray. Carter Shinkarik using his speed to deprive the Pee Dee IceCats of a 2-on-1. Kolatarsi tying up an IceCat in the far corner. Good puck movement consistently from Pee Dee in the start of this game. Falls favorably for Filip Virgili. Lofts a pass through the sky. That dump in came before the half line, and an icing against the IceCats. It's a narrow edge for the IceCats in shots on goal, but obviously they've done more with their shots. 2-0 lead thanks to goals from Jake Jurgenite as well as Dominic's Marcinkiewicz. Important face-off win in their defensive zone. And a clever pass there to find Trevor Lord. Very dangerous player, showing why there with the pass. Poked away by McPhail. Milan with his back to the Pee Dee net. Can only find Austin Pickford on the other team. Here's Pickford again. Takes a hit for his efforts from Milan in the corner. Really good play there from Glukharyov to get it to Milan. Gira Milan trying to go 5-hole once again on Gonzalez. That one is stuck to the post by the 6-foot goaltender from Michigan. We're starting to see glimpses of that Athens Rock Lobster team from last weekend. You get that feeling that all they need is their first goal in this game, and those goals will keep coming, but the Pee Dee IceCats doing a good job at keeping most of the pressure in the offensive zone from a Pee Dee perspective. Touch Lowell, touch Van Durken, touch Croucher. And then McPhail will do the dump in himself. Rock Lobsters beat the icing. Lowell kicks it to Van Durken. Lowell, backhand pass towards the slot. Only person that was there was Dominic's Marcin Kevitz. Pee Dee close to making it 3. Big hit right in front of Carter McPhail as Van Durken is brought down to the ice. Garcia, the furthest player forward, trying to keep this puck stuck in as the 4 skaters around him will change. Kolatarsi back in his zone. Gallant tiptoeing from across the blue line. Mack back to Gallant. Just missed the top corner. Mack brought down to the ice. IceCats doing a good job of collapsing in thus far and protecting the slot. A hole being dug for the puck in the end boards behind McPhail's net. Shinkarik, backhand sweep into the zone. Virgili trying to shug off Jurgenite, who made it a 1-0 game about 5 minutes into the contest. Greco, clever, no-look pass to Shinkarik. Shinkarik wriggles free, finds Mack. Mack to Virgili, back to Greco, unloads a one-timer. Slap back down towards the ice. Don't know if it ever reached Virgili. If it did, it probably would have been a hand pass counted against Gallant. That second line starting to find its footing. But the Rock Lobsters, despite now having the shot advantage according to the scoreboard here in Florence, 11-8 is what it says. Rock Lobsters still looking to half the deficit here. Top line back out for the Rock Lobsters. Trevor Lord. That one came off the skate of Jack Johansson. Jack Johansson arriving to Athens earlier this week. Not sure how much practice time he would have had coming into this game. Super Milan, a super pass. Jack Johansson trying to get his first. Neely can't take that one with him. Johansson trying to stop it at the line, unable to do so. Dumped in by Greco. It's Greco and Garcia here. Garcia takes Wilson to the glass. Puck back with the good guys. Slapped at by Lowell. Pardon me, Chris Mott, who's switching in and out with Lowell as the center of this third line. Clever touch in the zone. Croucher, drop pass for Mott. Can't find Van Durken at the back door. Garcia with a giveaway. Pee Dee almost giving it up in their zone. IceCats trying to pounce on a potential 3-0 lead here. Rock Lobster still looking for their first twine tickle of the game. Best part of the game thus far for Athens has been the forecheck. Croucher has been courtesy of a lot of that. Bank pass into the zone. Picked up here by Patrick's Marcin Kevitz. Right now it's a lot of the Latvians that are trying to deal the L to Athens. Patrick's with the assist. Dominic's with a goal. Van Durken. Clever puck handling into the zone. Rips a shot from distance. Virgili helps it onto the stick of Gallant. He's been looking for that top corner throughout the first period, has not been able to find it yet. We'll see if that changes throughout the game. Virgili had a hold there of Austin Pickford's jersey. It's been, again, a very physical, very intense game between these two teams. We're going back to a commercial break here. Just about 3 minutes to go. Athens down 2-0. Trying to change the narrative after this commercial break.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
Bad news, this game has not started in Athens' favor. Good news, there's still plenty of hockey to go. Joe Mack trying to get a deflection on that Joe Colatarsi shot. Gonzalez has not let one in just yet. Carter Shinkarik, really good wherewithal to get to the right spot at the right time, but he gets taken off the puck there by Alex Ray. Gallant again. Straight to Austin Pickford. Shot from distance, wide of the mark there. Chance Adrian, who already has 2 goals and 2 assists on the year. Gallant coming off Camp and Allen. Really good pass from Mack out in front. Milan gets stopped by Gonzalez yet again. Milan over to Neely on the far side. Back to Milan. Greco. Been looking for that one-timer here. That one goes into the stands. I think that's somehow squeezed either through the netting or what is in between the netting and the glass. Pee Dee mascot getting around here at the Florence Center. Pee Dee really good on the faceoffs thus far tonight. Rock Lobsters have not really been able to take advantage of the offensive zone draws they've had. Rock Lobsters push through, but offside whistle is blown. Minute 19 to go. Athens have more shots on the night. But that's not the number that matters. And another penalty going against the Rock Lobsters, coming right on the draw. It must have been a trip. Garrett Milan with a rare trip to the sin bin. The IceCats will have at least what's left of the period to try and make it a 3-0 game, having already scored on the power play in this contest. That tight angle snipe of the top shelf from Dominik Marcinkewicz that made it 2-0. Penalty kill started really well for Athens before Marcinkewicz scored that tight angle goal. Jesse Lowell, the 10th forward tonight, getting some time on the PK. Rock Lobsters back on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Patrick's Marcinkevich out to the left for his brother Dominic's. Sloppy giveaway. Jesse Lowell losing it in the snow that collected. I think the referees will be happy to not blow the whistle there, which I think it was an offside. Mack entered early before Lowell did with a puck. Pass to the blue line. McPhail watches it off the stick of Konstantin Chernik and into his glove. Fans here in Pee Dee shouting and lifting their hands as they've watched just about as perfect of a first period as you can ask for against the Rock Lobsters. Puck loose on the dot. Rock Lobsters take it away. Greco looking for the speed of Croucher. Luke Croucher was actually Michael Greco's choice for scoring the first home goal in tomorrow night's game against the Thunderbirds. Signature Michael Greco there as the first period will end. Wanting to see if anybody will get in his face after that. A small victory for Michael Greco there, but the Athens Rock Lobsters go back down the tunnel, down 2-0, with Carter McPhail being beat twice thus far in this game. Something that the Indiana Sentinels could not do through 60 minutes last Friday night. Head coach Garrett Rutledge will have the first intermission to talk to his team and try to rally the troops. Had a chance to talk with him earlier on this week about what's to come for the Rock Lobsters this weekend in Pee Dee, and of course tomorrow night in Athens against the Twin City Thunderbirds. As always, during the first period, here is our Coach's Corner segment.
How's it going, Crustacean Nation? Welcome back to Coach's Corner on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It gives fans like you an inside look to the games and goings-on for the team. And as of recording, the Rock Lobsters are coming off 2 dominant wins in their opening weekend against the Indiana Sentinels. As always, I'm Matt Rad, and I'm joined by Rock Lobster head coach Garrett Rutledge. Coach, very little went wrong for the team in Indiana this past weekend. With that being the case, it being your job to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of this team, was it difficult at all to do that, to evaluate what went right and what went wrong for the team when kind of everything was going right?
Well, everything went right, but we have a certain structure we want to play in. It's landing spots and defensive zone coverages, and we want to stick to our game plan. We're not really worried about what Indiana was up to. We were kind of there for ourselves, and obviously we have a game plan to stick to. So we're building towards that game 56. So in game 1 of playoffs, obviously we want to establish that throughout the season and be working on stuff and make sure that the team is detailed and ready to go. That's kind of the message. Even when you get up, you still have things in your game. You don't want to create bad habits, and you want to stick to our structure and how we play hockey in Athens.
With the team, I'm kind of going to go back to front here, and I'll start with a play of the 2 goalies. Carter McPhail marked his first pro start with a top-notch shutout. Great moment for him. William Lavalier made his return, let one in early, but was pretty locked in after that. Is there a clear number 1 at this early stage in your mind, or do you look at them as kind of a 1A, 1B, if you will?
Yeah, it's a 1A, 1B. Like, obviously, both we have the luxury of having good goalies. This year in Athens with McPhail, obviously his pedigree and his elite prospects says everything, right? And then you got Lavi that comes in. He's been a good goalie. He's worked very hard in the offseason here with training, and then obviously getting a shot with Allen. He comes back and to get out on the ice and kind of get the feeling going and having a good showing. So both goalies I was very impressed with. Like Lavi, obviously the first goal went off Shinks' skate. It's one of those things. It's like, it is what it is. The other one got tipped and went to redirect. So it's just like, again, both our goalies could have had shutouts basically. So it was good to see. I was proud of both of them. And again, it's kind of a tough spot to put them in just with everything. Like, It's kind of like the old school feel when you're in Indiana. It's like being back in minor hockey a little bit with like the net pegs or like just the old school ones that the net's getting pushed off, and goalies use that to push off on. So when they're here in Athens, they're drilled into the ice, and little things like that. And obviously the pace of play, because the ceiling's so low in Indiana. Every time there's a shot, goalies are trying to get it up on the glass so it rims around. So they're putting it up and out of play basically, so a whistle would go. But for the most part, I was pleased with our goaltending for sure.
And in front of them too, the defense did a great job in making sure that they were, they being the goaltenders, were relatively untroubled. The new face in the pairs was Jordan Rosenbaum, who looked pretty settled in and scored in his pro debut. How did you evaluate his first performance at this level?
So since I got here, since being on with the boys, time and space, obviously, and putting yourself in good position, Rosie has a good knack of having his feet pointed the right way. He's got a good stick, good mind. He's very calm and cool back there. He's not very erratic. He's very strategic in the way he plays. So you can see we have a lot of players that have good hockey IQ and have that ability to see plays develop and put themselves into good situations. And especially as a defenseman, all you got to do is get pucks up onto our forward stick. We have a lot of skill, and that's how we want to play, is nice and fast.
Shinkarik, Kolatarsi, Greco, all good themselves, but there are also three guys where fans and us really know their level and what they're capable of. Meanwhile, I think Matt Garcia is someone who's still a developing player, still a young guy. I thought he really read play well and sent pressure at the right times. What have you made of Garce since you've come in?
Yeah, he's another guy that's played physical. Again, he's worked on his craft of angling and good sticks and getting guys stopped up in the defensive zone. So that's credit to Carter Shinkarik and Greco and those guys staying the course and leading the defensive group with some younger guys. We're all a 5-man piece in the defensive zone, so it makes it easy when, we've done a lot of video a little bit here and we've done a lot of drills. We're in the defensive zone. It's like the D's got one guy and everybody's talking and everybody has their spot to be on the ice and their landing marks. And it's good when everybody's on the same page communicating, and it makes life easy who you got and everybody's talking and everybody's on the same page. It doesn't come just as one guy. It comes as a 5-man unit.
The forwards, it really seemed like the second line stole the show and looked really cohesive for it being the first couple games that those three guys have played together. Gleb Van Durken, Filip Virgili, Luke Croucher. What is it about those three dudes that it just works well together?
Well, they're always moving their feet and they're creative. You're going to see a lot this year, a lot of teams, if they don't have a ton of depth, even the forward group or the depth in the back end, they can try to match our top line, but then our second, third lines come out and they're just as good as our first line. So at some point, you're going to get a little bit more space out there with lower end guys, and it should work to our advantage. As for Gleb, he's highly skilled, young guy, wants to compete. He wants the puck on his stick. He has that natural ability to create separation from players, and he can find the back of the net. And then obviously Phil, he's a veteran in this hockey league for a reason. He's very detailed with his game. And obviously when you play a 200-foot game like him and you're in good position, you're under all pucks, your feet are moving, you distribute the puck well, and you're just in the right spot on the ice at all times, good things are going to happen down around the net, and he doesn't miss when he gets the opportunity. And again, I think in the short amount we've seen Luke Croucher, I've coached Luke and been around Luke since he's probably been about 16 years old, and he hasn't changed. The one thing I remember about Luke Croucher, and to this day now, is he never stops moving his feet. He's always going. So using your speed and using your skating ability puts you around the puck. Naturally, as a hockey player, if you're moving your feet and you're coming up ice, you're going to be around the puck. It's when you stop moving your feet that you become kind of a mediocre hockey player. So guys that move their feet generally have a very good knack of being in good spots on the ice and always around the puck. So it just happens instant. Yeah, just happens for them.
You bring up Crouchy. I thought he was particularly impressive to me. I thought really hard to shake him off the puck, quick release, finished at the net, was a playmaker. In these early days, if you look in the crystal ball, what do you think the ceiling is for Luke Croucher?
Oh, again, the ceiling's high for him as soon as he gets activated into pro hockey and our style. And again, he's never really wore a visor before, probably in his hockey career. So again, it changes a little bit. You got face out there now, so you got to kind of protect that. But the ceiling's high for him because he's relentless. And that's kind of how, in the Federal Hockey League, doing things in the past and things now, you need to add to your core group of 6, 7 guys, and you bring those young guys in to bring that compete level up in the dressing room. It just becomes contagious how he works. And like I said, next year, again, he'll bring in even more of a role, and he brings guys into the fight kind of. So when you need a little bit of a little spark, I guess, Croucher's your guy. You look out there, Penley killing. He's just relentless. He's like the little motor for us. It's great.
No one in the FPHL this past weekend had the kind of performance that Filip Virgili had. 8 points in 2 games, a 4-goal game, 3 power play goals. Obviously, we saw what we saw on the tape with his play, but how did you like not only his play, but his role as a centerpiece and a leader for those 2 young guys on that line?
Yeah, like I said, you do the right things. You prepare like a pro and you act like a pro, and you go out on the ice and you got a good attitude and you play the game with lots of heart and a lot of fun and a smile on your face. Good things are going to happen. Again, I've said it before, Mateen, to you, when guys enjoy coming to work and they got a smile on their face and they're having success, like, it's contagious. And you can see that in Phil's game. Obviously, you got to give some credit to the guys he's playing with too. But let's be honest, it's a game of hockey. You go to the net with your stick down, eventually the puck's going to come there. So credit to him. Again, moving his feet, getting to open ice. It takes a skill set, and he's a good hockey player. So his instincts created that. And like at the end of the day, everybody had success, and Phil gets the glory, kind of puts all the pucks in the net. So it's good to see, but it's also success for our team and a lot of confidence going forward.
Another young guy who made his pro debut was Jesse Lowell, playing as a third-line center in both games. He got off the mark with his first goal and his first assist. What did you make of him this past weekend?
Yeah, another good player, like moving his feet, big body, great human, like amazing character, like always got a smile on his face, ready to do anything for the team. He just breeds the Athens Rock Lobsters success. He's going to be a good story going forward this year. I think he's going to be a big piece for our hockey team. I think the fans are going to absolutely fall in love with him as a person, his character, how outgoing he is, and like to see him on the ice, he's got that heavy shot, and then like when he skates and comes up the ice, he's got a presence to him. I feel like when he takes off, it's like he's got that hard stride and that heavy look to him that's like when he's coming up ice, you can hear him coming. So it's going to be fun to watch him play.
Now, Jess is a great dude, and meeting his parents who traveled from Northbrook, Illinois to come watch him play cemented that as well. Speaking of the forwards, the FPHL transactions page have hinted at the returns of both Kayson Gallant and Daniil Glukharyov. Is there any update that you can tell us about those 2 guys and their potential comebacks?
Yeah, Gallant's going to be in the lineup this weekend, so that's going to be great for our group too. He came back, flew in on Sunday, I guess it was. He practiced today on the lines and stuff, so that was good. And then Daniil's flying in today, so it should be another piece we can add to our group. I'm excited. I don't know, obviously I know about him and what he did last year, but again, he's another big piece for our offensive group here to keep loading up and building towards that championship. So, yeah, they're going to be in. It looks like we should be pretty strong this weekend.
I'd say so for sure. Those 2 guys cemented themselves as top 6 forwards last year on this team. With the way your top 6 played this past weekend, you've got some difficult decisions to make. Can you let us into your mind right now where you see them fitting in right now?
Yeah, like right off the bat, Daniil's probably going to go right with Milan. Like, why would I break that up after last year's success? They obviously have that ability to play together, and they enjoy doing it. So the connection there is probably going to be the Danny, Milan, Neely line, and then Gallant will probably go with Virgili. He had a lot of success last year. I know they want to play together, so we'll see how it ends up. But for right now, I don't really want to break things up. Guys are going to be slotted in where they need to. But at the end of the day, we need to mix it up a bit. Sometimes it gets a little stagnant, so guys need to move around a little bit and get a little different look on different lines. So I look forward to seeing Joe Mack too. He's another guy that's kind of been a little bit forgot about, but he just had a nagging injury that we just kind of left him home. It felt like it wasn't worth the while of having him travel and kind of sitting on the bus and, you know what I mean, doing all those things that wears on the body and being tired. So we left him at home so he could rest and get some treatment. And obviously the weather's nice here and kind of get him ready for this weekend. So that way he can be ready for our fans and stuff. So we got 3 big pieces going to be added in the lineup. It's great to have that depth. It's fun to see our hockey team start molding into what we look like kind of in the summertime of how we were going to play and how I thought we were going to end up here. So it's truly coming to fruition. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good hockey team. It's going to be every night's going to be a battle to stay in the lineup kind of thing. So again, guys are competing for jobs, and it's good to have some competition.
I think the first question I asked you last week, I kind of asked you how settled you were with the squad right now. And you said, well, I would love to be able to bring maybe a couple more D-men in. From what I had heard, young D-man Jack Johansson joining the team. He's a player that, from his resume, he's got good size, really good offensive numbers for a D-man. What else can you tell us about him?
Yeah, big body, very mobile. Exactly what we're looking for. I'm excited to see him. He was out of practice today. Liked what I seen from him. Good first pass. Like, always got his head up, looks for the next play. He's not a stranger to jump into the play on the weak side there. So again, he's a very good young mind, young, fresh kind of guy out there on the ice to help our D-core and our forward group along here. So again, I think he's gonna be another piece that he's just another good human and wants to be an Athens Rock Lobster. So we're fortunate enough to get him. Played at a high level of D3 last year. They went to the national program or the national tournament, I think, in his D3 program. So again, he's another captain, another leader in that dressing room. Again, I can't stress that enough. The guys that championships and guys that wore C's and leaders on their hockey team. That's what we're doing here in Athens. We're getting these guys to buy in and have that dressing room as tight as possible. And obviously on the ice, you're going to see that night in, night out.
You've kind of just brought it up. It's something that really stuck out to me this weekend hanging out with the boys, was that everyone just felt super connected off the ice, and there was just a healthy, excited vibe from everyone. You talked last week about how important that was in these early road trips. From your perspective, how good has the locker room culture been in the early going?
I think, like, even from last season, like Steve, like Marty's created such a good culture here by obviously signing the guys in. And like I said before, over and over, the guys like Shinkruk, Malons, the Virgilis, the Lavaliers, the Grecos, and the list goes on and on. Bringing those good people into your program creates a culture for a long, long time here. And it makes it easy for a coach to come in as the new guy and already have the leadership in that dressing room and the direction, the culture, the whole family mentality here to have success. Like, again, they want to be successful. They put the work in. They come here ready to learn, ready to do their job. And again, it creates on the ice. You can see us on the ice. When we're having fun, you're celebrating. That's what hockey's all about. And like Mateen, you hit on, like, we travel together. The boys are all together. They eat together. They're family. They know that we're in this together. And we're at one goal, one game at a time. We're getting ready for playoffs. Like, that's what our mentality is. The ship started right here in Indiana. That's where we started. It was game 1, game 2. Now we keep moving on, and we just keep building and building and building. So it's great for me because the leadership group takes care of everything. And then obviously adding Eric Neely in has been unreal. Like, again, you bring a guy in that's got huge, like, career stats and a very huge leader in the community and throughout his teams that he's played on. It's been a huge addition for us.
You talk about on to the next thing, and what is the next thing are the two Carolina teams, the Pee Dee IceCats and the Twin City Thunderbirds. It's got to be helpful that they just played each other this last week, but are these back-to-backs against two different teams? Are they difficult to prepare for at all?
Yeah, we'll see. Like, again, how we prepare is we prepare for the Athens Rock Lobsters. We don't really prepare for other teams. Like, we want to dictate the play. We want to play our style. Like, I'm not worried about other teams per se, but with that being said, it comes with a mindset of having some young guys. You got to go into Florence, which is going to be a tough game. Like, it is. At the end of the day, they got a good team over there, well coached by Gary Graham. He's been around a long time. You go in there, they're gonna come up with a good product. And again, we're gonna travel in day of, and then you need to play a game. And whether it's win or lose, you need to figure out the mental side of it and make sure your body's right and make sure you're hydrated and you get some proper rest, because we play again the next night at home here, and you're going to have to ask yourself how you're going to get that energy. And obviously our fan base, I think, will bring that energy for you. But again, another good hockey team comes right in here. So it's never an easy weekend per se in the South here in our division. So you got to figure out the highs and lows of your game and how to bring it night in, night out kind of thing. And that's what's special with Federal Hockey League, I guess. And when you go back to goaltending, that's kind of the same thing. You need to have two good goalies in this league to be successful, because one night you're playing in Florence, South Carolina, and the next night we're back here. So we're going to probably get in 1-2 in the morning, and you need to turn right back around and dial that into home opener and playing a good Carolina Thunderbird team, obviously.
You brought it up. It's finally time to play some hockey at home as we welcome the newly christened Twin City Thunderbirds. Obviously, the Thunderbirds are a team that's close to your heart. Complex feelings at all about that, or is it just business as usual?
It's just business as usual. Like, again, I know a lot of people over there, a lot of fans and stuff. I think people are traveling in for the game and stuff like that. It's just again, I'm all for good hockey. So by playing good teams makes you even better. So it's I think it'll be special to coach against both teams. Obviously, I'll be on one side, and Harry's got his team on the other side. But it's like I said, it's no ill will. A lot of those players I know and actually had a hand in bringing them to Carolina. So it's kind of a proud moment to see both kind of your products on the ice, and obviously wish Harry well, but obviously you're coming into the big lobster tank or whatever we're going to call it here. And we're going to have our game going, and obviously I want to win. So I coach the Athens Rock Lobsters at the end of the day, but I want to put on a show.
Opening night is just a few sleeps away, and with a purchase of our opening night ticket package, you not only get a seat to watch your favorite team, but also a limited edition hat designed just for opening night. Make sure you secure your new swag and get the opening night package now at rocklobstershockey.com. That was another Coach's Corner. Thank you for joining me, Coach Rutz. We'll see you next time.
This broadcast of the Athens Rock Lobsters is brought to you by Thornton Brothers, your one-stop source for janitorial, safety, and packaging solutions. From restroom soap and protective eyewear to butcher paper and more, Thornton Brothers, they've got you covered. Athens Health and Fitness. Want to move better, feel stronger, and live healthier? Join Athens Health and Fitness. Personal training, results-driven programs, a community that pushes you. Check them out at athenshealthandfitness.com today. Make your home feel brand new. Dalton Carpet One has the flooring you've been dreaming of. Visit DaltonCarpet1.com today and step on to style. Well, the Rock Lobsters find themselves down 2-0 and will also be down a man to start the second period. Goal came 5 minutes in from the new D-man Jake Jurgenite, and then a really, really stellar goal from Dominik Marcinkewicz. Had the blade of his stick maybe even on the goal line from the corner and found to the top shelf. There's still 40 minutes left to be played in regulation here, but the Rock Lobsters needed to find their bounce back in the locker room and then take it back out on the ice. Of course, we always love to have you here on the broadcast, but don't forget to come on out tomorrow night as the Rock Lobsters open up their home account against the Twin City Thunderbirds, a team that the Rock Lobsters, albeit being in the same division as the Thunderbirds last year, they did not get to see too much of Twin Cities, then known as the Carolina Thunderbirds. Rock Lobsters with a face-off win on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Took an awkward bounce. Virgili made a good read there and then mixed the clearance out of his ice. And on the swivel there from Konstantin Chernik. Chernik out of St. Petersburg, Russia. Clean zone entry around the end boards to the near corner. Joe Mack tries to poke it away, but it's sent deeper into the zone. Centering pass, drops to Shinkarik. Rock Lobsters trying to do something on the offensive side. Being helmed in that front by Carter Shinkarik. Rock Lobsters back to full strength. Michael Greco picks it up on his own blue line. Milan kicks it to himself. Centering pass was a good one, but Michael Greco with the interception. Dumped into the corner. Milan chases it, lays a hit into the end boards. Pass out front. Sent into the air. Michael Greco gloves it down. Sends it back where it came from. Michael Greco looks for the hit. Pee Dee trying to take advantage. Tied up in the end boards is Jack Johansson and TJ Prexler. First time we've said his name tonight. Carter McPhail doing a good job at absorbing the energy from that puck. stopping the clock at 18-16. Pee Dee once again have done well in this game on the faceoffs. But the Swede Virgili is able to win it here. Kayson Gallant still trying to start his account. Clever one-touch pass. Virgili from Joe Mack. Virgili takes it all the way to the net. Coming off that 4-goal, 5-point night last Saturday in Indiana. But Ricardo Gonzalez has been equal to everything that the Rock Lobsters have thrown at him thus far. Michael Greco gets the blade of the stick on that one. Johansson and Virgili trying to shake it loose. Joe Mack, good use of the stick defensively there. Greco looking for an option, can't find one. Into the side netting, tight angle shot. Mack able to get it out. Gallant gets on his horse. Gallant right circle shot, deflected wide. Michael Greco absolutely levels an IceCat in the offensive zone. What a hit from Greco. Taking exception, Michael Greco drops the gloves with Charlie Bedard. Still on the ice is Trevor Lord, I believe. Michael Greco absolutely decked him on the check. We'll see how they divvy out the penalties here. Trevor Lord skates safely back to the bench. Greco just trying to bring some energy right now to the visiting team. And of course, anybody who's familiar with Rock Lobster hockey knows that that is signature Michael Greco right there. A little less than 3 minutes gone in this middle period. Rock Lobster still trying to find their footing in this game. Looking much more themselves in the second period. But Pee Dee still in control with a 2-0 lead. Of course, after this, Pee Dee, having just come off of playing against the Twin City Thunderbirds themselves, Rock Lobsters will take on the other Carolina team tomorrow. Not too late for you to get tickets to opening night. Looks like the penalties will be even at 2 apiece. Should be 4-on-4 here, will be. So no fighting majors given out there, just 2 minutes for Charlie Bedard and Michael Greco, both for roughing. Looks like Michael Greco is making some friends in the front row, as only he can. This is something we saw a bit last year. The Rock Lobsters, I thought, We're a really good team 4-on-4. Anything that has more open ice for the Rock Lobsters benefits Athens. We saw that 3v3 on overtime. We've seen that 4-on-4. Of course, we've seen that on the power play. Milan will have to take it out of the zone. Steps on the brakes, then takes it back in. Garrett Milan like a coiled spring, but a good stick on him there from Dominik's Marcinkevich. Here's Marcinkevich again. Milan has to pick up the stick there. Joe Kolatarsi with a block shot, looking around for the puck. Finds Milan. Dropped for Shinkarik. Shinkarik looking for Neely at the back door. Puck trickles into the far corner. Houston Wilson. Good initial hit there, but shrugged off there by Eric Neely was Dominik's Marcinkevich. Shinkarik, so adept at finding that burst of speed behind his own net, but his shot goes off the end boards. He's left his D partner here, Jack Johansson, a little isolated, but Daniil Glukharyov with a defensive use of his stick pokes in at Patrick's Marcinkevich as the shot goes up into the sky. Still about 46 seconds to go with these two teams skating 4-on-4. Van Durkin taking a rare draw there. Poked away by Glukharyov. Gallant and Glukharyov here, the two returners. Looking all around, trying to find the biscuit was Gonzalez. Rock Lobsters with three forwards here in Van Durkin, Glukharyov, and Gallant. Pee Dee with 15 more seconds of 4-on-4. Patricks. Gallant pokes in at him. Patricks to the high slot. Backhand no-looker. Perhaps he should have looked. Both teams back at even strength. Tipped in by Michael Greco. He'll chase it himself as he's fresh out the penalty box. Michael Greco looking to resume right where he left off before he entered the penalty box. One back by Luke Croucher. Bounces off a hit. Able to find Lowell. Good poke check there from Jordan Rosenbaum. But he gets crowded out by IceCats and taken down to the ice. Croucher. Burst of speed, dump in from the blue line. Icing against Pee Dee, 6 minutes gone in this second period. I think it's been more slight advantage to Athens, but they have to use this advantage while they have it. Still no goals for the Rock Lobsters on the night, despite having 7 more shots on goal according to the scoreboard here. We're going to a commercial break here. 6 minutes gone in the middle period. The Rock Lobsters still looking for something to celebrate. More hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Garrett Milan back out on the ice for the Athens Rock Lobsters. He's looked the most likely scorer for Athens thus far. He's had a couple breaks, but Ricardo Gonzalez has slammed the doors shut on all of them thus far. There also has yet to be an Athens Rock Lobster power play in this game. Face-off happening right here to the left of Gonzalez. Neely initially came away with it. Giveaway by Athens. One back by the stick of Kolatarsi. One-timer for Milan. In and out of the glove. Rock Lobsters score. Athens get one back through Eric Neely, who's playing against some of his former Atlanta Gladiators teammates tonight. Job not done yet here for the Athens Rock Lobsters, but they've got one back through one of their veterans. Couple boos from the Florence crowd here. It was about time the Rock Lobsters tickled the twine. Look at Neely again. Neely treating a couple IceCats like saloon doors. Just like that, the Rock Lobsters are going to the power play. So Neely with his third of the year, assisted by Milan. Milan's fifth apple of the year. And just like that, the Rock Lobsters have double the Pee Dee shot tally. Looks like so far the Rock Lobsters have shrugged off that first period where nothing really went their way. Austin Pickford called for the trip on Neely. Rock Lobsters will have their first power play of the night. Right now it's scoring at a clip of 42.9%. That's first in the league through just 2 games played for the Rock Lobsters. Joe Mack was out in front, looking dangerous. Carter McPhail out of his crease to play the biscuit. Shinkarik finds Neely. Neely finding his feet. Puck out in front. Gonzalez is able to stop the clock. Still plenty of time left on this power play. Already a couple of chances for Athens. How about this for a second power play unit? Bandurkin, Croucher, Kolatarsi, Glukharyov, and Gallant. My goodness gracious. An embarrassment of riches for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Can they use those riches to even this game up at 2 apiece on the power play? Bandurkin tries to U-turn with it, gets pinned to the glass. Croucher almost came away with it, but it falls for Chance Adrian, who sends it all the way down. Gallant almost got caught up there, but finds the pass to Kolatarsi. Kolatarsi scanning the ice, dropping it back to the Red Deer Rocket. Is this the reemergence of the Red Deer Rocket there? Pad save from Gonzalez. Now 21 shots on net for the Rock Lobsters in comparison to Pee Dee's 9. These two teams have switched roles a little bit in between periods. Croucher. Glukharyov. Backhanded through Gallant to the line for Kolatarsi. Croucher centering it. Bandurkin high slot. Pinballing around. Glukharyov backhands it. Intercepted by Pee Dee and sent down the ice. I think that one hit somebody in either the Rock Lobster bench or the Pee Dee bench. 9 seconds to go on the penalty to Austin Pickford. A 2-1 game here now. At the 6:18 mark, the Rock Lobsters were able to get one back. through the Atlanta Gladiators captain from last year, Eric Neely. Really good job by Shinkarik to stop that with a skate, making sure it didn't get cleared out by the IceCats. One-timer from Joe Mack, who's on this first power play unit. Penalty to Pickford expires. Shinkarik slaps it away. Mack getting some ice time here with Milan and Neely. Greco with a flip. Cross ice to Milan. Athens doing a good job of keeping it initially in the zone. Michael Greco making that step up. Trying to make a play there was Chance Adrian. Rock Lobsters defense snuffed out any chance he had. But he wins it back. Croucher trying to push it ahead for Lowell. A line of Mott, Lowell, and Croucher here. Garcia with a snapshot into the glove of Gonzalez. And more pleasantries being exchanged in front of the Pee Dee net. Jesse Lowell getting in the face there of, I believe that's Jordan Popoff. Some good news from back home at Akins Ford Arena. UGA Ice Dogs are up 4-0. It is a doubleheader tomorrow with the UGA women's team playing at 1 before tomorrow night's Rock Lobster home opener. Puck causing chaos. Matt Garcia trying to use that chaos. He just snapped a shot earlier that prompted the whistle. Rosenbaum from distance. Really good game thus far from Ricardo Gonzalez. Gonzalez with 24 saves on the night already. Gonzalez took the loss in the team's last game, 27 saves on 31 shots. Croucher takes the face-off and wins it. Rosenbaum didn't get the mustard on the sandwich he was looking for. Ben Durkin hard off the glass behind Gonzalez. Croucher behind the net. Surrounded by two Pee Dee players. Still finds the pass to Garcia. Garcia's shot gets deflected and into the netting. Back to another commercial break we go. Athens looking more dangerous in the second period, but they still need to try and tie this game up. More hockey coming up here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Rock Lobsters have locked in the second period. We'll see if that continues to be the case. as we're just slightly over halfway through with this game. Athens were able to lobster claw their way back into contention with a goal from Eric Neely earlier on in this period. Can they find the goal to make it 2-2? Shinkarik getting to the high slot from the line. Puck bouncing. Settled down by Ben Durkin. Finds his captain, but that puck just about leaks out of the zone. Shinkarik doing battle there with Dominik's Marcinkevich. Ben Durkin slaps it off the wall. Gets it out of the zone. Ben Durkin, very clever with the stick. Lofts a pass towards center ice. Glukharyov playing the puck and then the body. Shinkarik swats at it. But falls here. Oh my goodness, what a goal. An absolute beauty earlier on from his brother from a tight angle. This time it's Patrick's Marcinkevich who finds the top corner to make it 3-1. Just when the Rock Lobsters were turning it around in this game. Garrett Rutledge trying to fire up his team on the Rock Lobster bench as Athens finds themselves down 2 goals once again in this matchup. One time by Neely, easy goal, Garrett Milan. An instant response and a little bit of Milan magic is able to get one right back. That's exactly what the Rock Lobsters needed, an immediate response. And these two Athens Rock Lobster veterans, Eric Neely and Garrett Milan, combine once again. How dangerous of a partnership will they be in the 2025-26 season? We have already seen Neely from Milan in this game, and now we see Milan from Neely. Rock Lobsters scratch it back to a 1-goal deficit again. Neely almost taking the body of an ice cat and a referee there. Rosenbaum gets caught up. Garcia there to try and sweep away the mess. Joe Mack losing his stick. Whistle blown for a Athens hand pass. Athens will change most of the 5 on the ice. All of the 5, in fact. We've seen a bit of a mix-up in the lines as well. Right now it's Jesse Lowell with Virgili and Gallant. Looked like Joe Mack was getting some time on the top line there with Milan and Neely. Officials in a conversation trying to figure out where this faceoff is going to take place. They finally agree that it will be taken in the Pee Dee offensive zone. I think Michael Greco just blowing a kiss there to Jordan Popoff. Johansson steps through the faceoff. Jesse Lowell, some extra spring to his step there. Trying the big hit there was Virgili. Looking for the classic hip check. You don't see it as much anymore. Johansson. Trevor Lord hot on his heels. Michael Greco trying to separate the space between the two IceCats that were participating in that kind of 1-2 play there. One-time shot stopped by McPhail, however. Very apt song ringing out over the PA after the McPhail save. Return of the Mac. .738 to go. Shots on goal read 26-12 here on the Florence center scoreboard. But the IceCats have definitely used the efficiency of their shots to their advantage. Right now, 25% of what they're shooting is going to the back of the net. Almost 4-2 there. TJ Prexler was on the welcome mat. Every time it feels like the Rock Lobsters are going to snuff out the Pee Dee fire, the IceCats come raging back. No icing, say the officials. Gonzalez chooses not to play that. Off the inboards, off the referee. Puck finally comes out, taken away by the IceCats. Banked hard off the glass. Whistle for icing. TJ Brexler personally felt that he had beat that call. Brexler, 32 FPHL games last year with Dashers HC, Blue Ridge Bobcats, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Offensive zone win on the face-off for the Rock Lobsters. Rosenbaum traverses up from the blue line. Matt Garcia wheeling around. Shot gets blocked from a close distance. One-timer, rather, a slap shot from Milan in the left circle is saved by Gonzalez. Milan had the open net to shoot into on his goal to make it 3-2 right after the goal that made it 3-1. But besides that, Ricardo Gonzalez has still done a great job at stymieing Garrett Milan's scoring ability. Shinkarik. East to west pass picked up by Pee Dee. Shinkarik stops it at his blue line. Finds Milan with a banker. Two-on-one developing for Pee Dee. Eric Neely with a great defensive stick. He was the one Rock Lobster back, the forward, and now here he is again trying to put one in the back of the net. Almost fell favorably for Neely right in front of him. He snapped his stick, however. A linesman wipes out. Starting to be calamity and chaos here in the Florence Center. 5:40 to go in the second period. McPhail deflects it into the corner. We've got a whistle here, but for what? Face-off will happen at center ice. Not sure what happened there. Either way, puck is dropped back again at center ice. McPhail asked for the icing once again. So face-off will get taken back down with 5:17 to go. Make sure you stay tuned here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. As always, we have our Lobster Tails segment with Carter McPhail during the second intermission. We can only show about 18 minutes of it, but it was our longest Lobster Tails yet at 40 minutes. You can catch every single second of it on the official Athens Rock Lobster YouTube page, where you're watching this stream right now if you're not watching it on Sporfie. That one gets through Jake Jurgenite at the line, who opened the scoring in this game to make it 1-0. One back by Lowell at center ice. Michael Greco backhands it towards the direction of the Illinois native. Jesse Lowell's parents coming out for the game last weekend in Indiana. Long banker. Rock Lobsters beat the icing. Croucher wins it back. Croucher, despite his size, so strong and so good on the forecheck, so quick. Hit frees up some space for Bane Durkin. Turnaround shot, Glukharyov. That one bunted high in the air by the stick of Gonzalez. Matt Garcia picks it back up. I was just going to say the Rock Lobsters are dictating a lot of the pace of this second period, but then the icing there will kill some of that. We go back to a commercial timeout here in the Florence Civic Center. The Rock Lobsters have momentum in their favor. Let's see if they can keep it up. Coming up, more hockey here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Luke Croucher is such an interesting story, and we've seen a lot of his speed with his skating in the early portion of the season thus far. 6 points over his first 2 pro games last weekend. Croucher has been documenting his career as a hockey player thus far. As we see him along with Van Durkin and Glukharyov back out on the ice. Just slightly, the lines are in a bit of a blender. I believe this is the first time we've seen this line of Van Durkin, Glukharyov, and Croucher. If you're interested in learning more about the career of Luke Croucher, go check out his Instagram. That's at Luke Croucha, at LUKECROUCHA. Here's Croucher on the puck. Sweeps it back to Garcia. Really clever no-look pass between the two twins. McPhail able to poke at it, grab it, get everything on it. Matt Garcia takes a couple pokes with the glove of Patrick Marcinkevich. I pondered before this game started on if this is a potential rivalry in the making. Doesn't feel like we're there quite yet, but it has the early makings for one. This is a team the Rock Lobsters will play quite a bit as the season goes on. For those of you who've never been here to Florence Civic Center, reminds me a lot of the building in Columbus. Has also shades of the building in Monroe. Milan far away from the face-off circle here. Looks like maybe the Rock Lobsters having something drawn up out of their own zone. Easy hand pass to call there against Glukharyov, who hikes it through his legs like a football center. Right in front of the IceCats bench. Another face-off will take place. Three minutes to go in this middle set of three periods. Glukharyov. Milan just killed that puck with a touch of the blade of his stick. For the Rock Lobsters, it's been the Milan and Neely show thus far. Is it again? Neely centers it towards Milan. Milan, backhand push back towards Gonzalez, who has been stellar in this matchup. Rock Lobsters starting to approach 30 shots on net here. Swede Virgili on to take the face-off here. Gets through him. Rock Lobsters so good at using their speed to deprive teams of odd-man rushes. That's what happened there. Tape-to-tape pass. Gallant trying to get in there on Austin Pickford. McPhail's save deflects into the netting behind his net. Virgili against Patrick's Marcinkiewicz. Both Marcinkiewicz brothers have had incredible snipes on the night thus far. Looking dangerous behind the net there was Dominic's. In the slot. Backhand pass from Patrick's Marcinkiewicz. Just about doesn't come off. I thought that one may have come off the top corner. Thought I saw the net of McPhail bulge a little bit there. The corpse of Filip Virgili's stick that got broken on the faceoff is still making play tricky in the Rock Lobster zone. Greco with a block shot. Jesse Lowell, good poke check there. Virgili tries to play some defense with his skate. Gallant takes it away. Virgili asks for a new twig. He'll get it. Wow, what a great turnaround pass from Marcinkiewicz. Feels like there's some telepathy there between the two Latvian brothers. Gallant can't get it back to Mac. Rock Lobsters had committed bodies forward. IceCats shot from the left circle. I think that one came off the bar. Less than a minute remaining. Rock Lobsters playing on their heels a bit. I think referees are saying that that one took a piece of the net. Now the net has come off its moorings here. A consistent issue last weekend in Columbus, Indiana. Luckily for us, that's the first time it's happened in this game. Ooh, really good move out of the face-off for Pee Dee. 2 bites at the cherry. McPhail deprives them of anything that tastes good. Milan has it come off his chest, drops down for him. Pee Dee, odd man rush, a 3-on-1. Tic-tac-toe, but the Rock Lobsters don't let him complete the row. IceCats not done here. Left circle shot. McPhail makes another save. McPhail is getting his groove in the second too. Last second shot in the second period. Does it go? Milan getting pushed in front of Gonzalez. Clock is reading 1 second here, remaining in the second period. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. The Rock Lobsters are lucky to go into this second intermission down just a goal. Joe Mack on the face-off. If there's anything here for Athens, it's going to have to come right from the draw itself. He'll just win the face-off, and that'll do it for action in the second period. Carter McPhail standing on his head in the last minute of the second period to protect what is right now just a 1-goal deficit for the Rock Lobsters. Taking a look at what's happened in this second period. Athens was able to scratch one back through Eric Neely, who scored the 6:18 mark. Assist from Milan and Glukharyov. Glukharyov's first point back. And then later on in the second period, Patrick's Marcinkevich, just like his brother had earlier on in the game, top shelf snipe from a tight angle to restore a 2-goal lead that lasted just 14 seconds before a great pass from Eric Neely set Garrett Milan up with an open net to pass the puck back into. That has led us to our 3-2 scoreline at the second intermission. As we just talked about, Carter McPhail, new Rock Lobster goaltender, a Division I athlete coming into this Rock Lobster program, standing on his head in the final minute of play there in the second period. Just an incredibly good kid and no doubt a good head on his shoulders. I had a chance to talk with him just a couple days ago for our Lobster Tails segment. Let's hear from Carter McPhail.
Hey there, Crustacean Nation, and welcome back to Lobster Tails on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It's a go-to way for you fans to learn more about your favorite players. As always, I'm your host, Mattine Rad, and my guest on this episode is coming off of his first professional start in which he kept a shutout in a 10-0 win. Welcome to the show, Carter McPhail. Carter, thanks for joining me today, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Listen, Carter, this is your first spot as a pro. Were there nerves at all coming into this weekend? And then does a dominant win like that help settle those nerves for the long term?
I don't know so much if I would say there was nerves as much as, excitement. Having never, I guess, played pro hockey, I've seen a lot of pro hockey. I wasn't overly nervous about, my ability, just kind of excited to see, where our team was at and the level we were going to be playing at.
Were there feelings about where the level might be at based on camp, especially in comparison to what you had been used to at the D1 level?
Yes and no. We had been skating with the guys for a week or so or longer. But practices, it's hard to tell how good guys are. There's a lot more time and space and some drills and things like that. But I felt, pretty early on the vibe in the room and the way, some of the returning guys were talking, it seemed like we were going to have a pretty good team. And then, when we got to Indiana, that was obviously the case.
Now we're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. Like, how are you liking the look of the guys that are protecting your net right now? And is that somewhere we're noticing maybe a different level than the college days with guys like Shanks, Kolatarsi, Greco?
Yeah, I mean, we have veteran guys back there, which helps a lot. We're building that relationship, goalie to D. That's important. Figuring out, how we want to play certain situations. And I'm asking those guys a lot of questions. They're, asking me a lot of questions, and we're kind of, making that defensive identity. And so far it's been awesome. Through, one game I played and another I watched, from the bench. So far I have a lot of trust in those guys. And when I, believe they're going to do their job, it makes doing my job a whole lot easier.
Is there a guy that sticks out from that group in terms of helping you out in terms of the transition or communication on the ice, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, Carter's been, kind of my go-to defenseman. Obviously he's a leader on our team. And he's kind of come to me, once or twice. I'm like, hey, like, we need you to talk more, and, trying to give me a little bit more rope, as the goalie and get guys in the right spots. So, just bouncing ideas off him, building that relationship, with the leader of our team and our D core. That's gonna, help as we get into the season.
I had asked you on the bus after game one, were you sweating it out toward the end of the game? And you kind of looked at me with a grin and said, I didn't feel anything. What do you think contributed to those feelings or lack thereof of feelings?
I mean, yeah, I've played in a lot of, I guess, different styles of hockey games, from, playing in the pro summer league out in Minnesota, college hockey, junior hockey, getting even back to, I had a game in U18 where I only got 3 shots. The reality of it, and, I talked to, coach before the game, like, the net's the same size, the puck's the same size, no matter where you're playing. And, every shot has the same weight. So kind of just let your emotions go and try to stop it when they shoot it.
So to be fair, the stats said you had 56 saves?
Yeah. Team gets outshot 53 to 35 and you win 10-0. It's a good night to be the goalie.
It's not bad. It's not bad. If I recall correctly, you were out with family one of the nights in Indiana. Who came down to watch you play?
Yeah, we went, my mom and dad drove down with my aunt, to see, obviously, my first game. They've been, the biggest support, throughout my wild hockey career. They've been by my side the whole time. So it was really special for them to be there and see that. And, yeah, I have the tradition is when I win, I like to keep the puck, and give it to my mom. So it was nice to get the first win puck from Lavi in the locker room and be able to give it right to my mom, as soon as we left the rink.
No, that's a beautiful moment, Cart. And what can you tell me about home, Carter? I don't know much about Fenton, Michigan.
Yeah, so I grew up in Fenton. It's 15, 20 minutes south of Flint. Small, I guess I don't know if I would say like too rural, but just neighborhoods. A lot of weekends in the summer out on the lake, with buddies. Not the most competitive high school sports in the world, but just a great place to grow up, with a lot of great people, great friends, a lot of good families.
I had to do my research on you, and luckily I came across a video I think that was very illuminating. It was talking about the goalie mask you wore at Mercyhurst, and I believe you wore in game 1 of the season in your last year of college as well at Mercyhurst. On the back, you had a map of Michigan where you used stickers to point out important destinations in your life. You had a heart for Fenton, your hometown, Paul Prince for Big Rapids, where you played for Fair State. But there was also a slice of pizza sticker there. I'm watching that and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what could this be for? Is there a really good pizza place in that part of Michigan? My shot in the dark guess is that it might be the town of Farmington Hills, where you got your start playing Little Caesars 18U hockey. Am I close?
That's exactly right. So I played just regular travel AA hockey growing up in Michigan until my first year of U18. My team, I think we only had maybe 13 or 14 players on it. I had to play player in 2 games because we had guys on vacation and sick. I did score a goal, so that was awesome.
Man, you had to have rubbed that into the rest of the guys, right?
I mean, they were celebrating, I think, harder than I was. They were all excited, but yeah. So after my first year of U18, my team folded. I had grown up basically, just playing with my friends. High level hockey wasn't necessarily something that I thought was overly attainable. And then my junior year of high school, season was over. Was getting ready to go to baseball practice, and one of my goalie coaches from youth hockey, Sean Hunwick, played at Michigan, called me. He's like, "Hey, are you going to Little Caesars tryouts today?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Well, I got baseball practice." He goes, "Okay, well, you need to go." And I was like, "Okay, like, I don't think I'm going to go. Like, they already have their goalies picked. Who cares?" And my 2 best friends from high school were standing there when I got off the phone, and they're like, "Dude, you're going." Basically told me to skip baseball practice and go, which I did. Baseball coach didn't care for that much, obviously. Ended up making the team. So I went back, played 1 varsity baseball game, and told my coach after the game, "Hey, man, I can't play. I got to go all in on hockey." So I played 1 year of AAA hockey in Detroit. We actually played at Joe Louis Arena, the home of the Detroit Red Wings, in the final season. So that was really special. We had a great year, won the state championship. And then, after that, that was the first year I even thought about junior hockey. And it was kind of all of a sudden I was really good and got an opportunity to go play junior hockey. And then from there, it was just kind of like, all right, well, what's next after that?
I'm sure that baseball coach is still gritting his teeth somewhere.
I mean, he's a great guy. I tried to come back and play senior year. He was very respectfully told me basically, "Hey, man, I don't think this is a good idea," which I respected. I was a little bummed, but I got to play varsity golf that year with some other buddies, so it was, all's well that ends well.
I'm going to ask you a little bit more later about the other sports you're interested in, but back to that goaltender mask that you have. You also had the Miami of Ohio logo on it, where you had played for a couple years before Mercyhurst. You had referenced in that interview how love and honor, which is the kind of the known credo for Miami at Ohio, was a motto that you really tried to embody. Can you go more into that and why that's something that's stuck with you?
Yeah. I mean, I spent 2 years at Miami. And our message, the whole time from, the coaching staff to the leadership group was, this is Miami hockey isn't about, winning hockey games. It's about, the brotherhood and leaving the program better than you found it. What kind of person are you when you show up to the rink? And just the way the university feels when you're on campus, it feels like we're a family. Everybody, the thousands of students there, everybody, kind of buys into the, I guess that identity of being a student at Miami University. And just the way that, you meet someone at the grocery store in, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they're like, "Oh, did you go to Miami?" "Yeah, I did. And this year," like, "Oh, like love and honor." Just the way that it sticks with the alumni and everyone that goes through there was really special. And it just, that's a saying that, almost kind of like reminds me of home. the love of everybody there, and the pride in wearing that red block M was really special to me.
I think I could definitely I could definitely see in asking you how much that's stuck with you. Last thing on the mask, but I had to reference it because you make mention to one of my favorite movies on that mask. What does Forgetting Sarah Marshall have to do with hockey, Cart?
I mean, nothing, but at the same time, everything. After my sophomore year at Ferris State, I got the opportunity to go live in Minneapolis with my goalie coach, Carl Popper. He was out there working for a hockey program and also coaching with the University of Minnesota. So he brought me in, let me rent out his spare bedroom in the basement. And at the time, my style of play was very, I guess someone would say, athletic, is the nice way to put it. The reality is it was very sporadic and inefficient even. Just kind of flying around on the crease, doing whatever I could to keep it out. And through junior hockey and 2 years of college, it was like, you can play like this, but if we want to get really good, we got to tighten things up a little bit. And there's a scene in the movie, Paul Rudd's character is teaching him how to surf, and he goes,
too slow, do less.
Just pop up. No, you're doing too much. Pop down.
Too much. Do less. Pop down.
All right, pop it up.
Stop.
No, pop down. You're doing too much. Do less.
Anything.
Do less. So me and Carl kind of adopted that. So we'd be on the sheet and doing a drill, and he'd be like, "Carts, man, just do less. Like, you're moving too much. Just stand there and save it. Just do less. So, it was actually my junior year going into Ferris State. I got a new mask, and, I talked to the mask painter, at Vice Design, and we put the surfboard on the back of my junior year mask with the do less. And it's stuck ever since. I had it on my mask at Miami. So we just carried it right over to my mask at Mercier's as well.
I feel like we got to find out what your Hawaiian name is. You think it's a POP or whatever he calls it?
Oh yeah, I have no idea. That's not in my repertoire of knowledge. We could figure it out.
We now know your interest in mid 2000s comedy movies. Are there other sports I know you talked about playing baseball in high school a little bit. Are there other sports you're interested in besides hockey?
Yeah. I mean, I've never been the biggest football guy. I'm in my second year playing fantasy football, and it's not going great. I'm in last place again, but maybe make some roster moves here. I played 1 year of basketball in 8th grade. My two buddies convinced me to give it a try, and I ended up, I was the starting center on the B team. We went 21-0. So, but baseball was my other big sport growing up. I was a catcher until high school. Then they told me I couldn't be a catcher anymore because I was left-handed. So I had to learn how to play first base as a freshman. And I realized that I really liked first base. Threw the ball to you all the time. Didn't have to get hit by the ball behind the plate. And you just worry about hitting. I said, I love this.
That's interesting because as a goaltender, you catch left-handed, correct?
That is correct, yes. My baseball glove goes on my right hand and my goalie glove goes on my left hand.
So is that just more of a throwing thing? Throwing right-handed feels awkward?
I think it's more of my older brother started playing goalie before me, and we had the catch left glove and blocker. So when I picked it up, that's how you did it.
Mom and Dad's like, we're not spending extra money on you. We already have this goalie glove.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's crazy because I feel like there's a sport you're not mentioning.
Yeah, and then I mentioned it earlier. I played varsity golf my senior year of high school when I was respectfully declined to play on the baseball team after my, I guess, lack of commitment, some would call it. Golf was always a game that I just played. My mom and my uncle grew up playing golf. My grandfather was walking 18 holes and 9 holes long into his 90s. And my older brother actually works in golf full time now. He's a assistant pro at a country club in northern Michigan. So golf is kind of taken over when baseball stopped, and it's it's something to do in the summertime when you're not spending all day at the rink.
Our Lobster Tails segment short. Of course, that was a 40-minute interview, and you can catch every second of it on the official Athens Rock Lobster YouTube page, which you are watching our live broadcast on right now. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to play a part of our world-famous YouTube chat, and hit the bell to stay notified of all future Rock Lobster content. The Rock Lobsters needed to find a new gear in the second period. They did find that. They outscored the IceCats 2-1 in that middle period, but they need to do that again to at least send this game into overtime. Rock Lobsters hoping to find more goals here on the ice at the Florence Center. Let's take a look at the scores that are going around the FPHL as we speak. Over in Port Huron, the Prowlers are leading the Topeka Scarecrows 2-0. The Binghamton Black Bears up on the Watertown Wolves in what is a barnstormer, 5-4 for the Black Bears. The Blue Ridge Bobcats right now beating up on the Twin City Thunderbirds 4-1. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen for the Rock Lobsters tomorrow night as they welcome the Thunderbirds for their home opener. And then right now an even game in Monroe going up against their in-state rivals, the Baton Rouge Zydeco, 1-1. 20 minutes up on the clock here, the final 20 minutes of regulation. Referees getting some words in their ears from both Carter Shinkarik and Dominic Marcinkevich right before the third period starts. Both goaltenders trying to stay loose in McPhail and Gonzalez. Gonzalez having a tremendous game here thus far for the Pee Dee IceCats. 25 saves thus far on the night, and he's been the busier goaltender of the two. Having just heard from McPhail, the final 10 minutes of the second period were the best 10 minutes for him in this game. Hopefully that's a good sign coming into this potentially decisive third period. Not sure what's going on here to delay the start of this third period. Trying to look to all areas of the rink and the ice to see what could be causing this delay. You know, a lot of people talking in the chat about the perceived darkness in this building, the Florence Center. It doesn't look as bad here in person. Not sure what's going on with the camera necessarily. Of course, as we all remember, it takes time to iron these things out. New team in the FPHL. IceCats trying to sustain some pressure in the offensive zone in the early going here. Neely biting at the heels of Dominic Marcinkevich. Both of the Latvian twins have scored in this game. Great defense from the Athens Rock Lobsters. However, they're unable to transition it to offense. Turnaround shot from distance from Houston Wilson. Looks like some of the IceCats wanted to call for too many men on the ice. No raised hand from any of the Zebras. Garcia. Croucher. Takes it into the zone, waits patiently for Van Durken. Van Durken, Croucher, and Glukharyov the line here. We saw some differences in the lines in the second period. It paid off for the most part. Trying to scan the ice and the bench for quite some time for Chris Mott. Feels like we haven't seen him in some time. Garcia gets crunched into the corner. Van Durken behind him for Croucher. Can't find the other Russian in Glukharyov. Picked up by Rosenbaum in the slot in front of McPhail's net. Tipped in by Athens. Bedard can't get it away. But Eli Rivers was able to. Van Durken trying not to get caught up in his own zone. Croucher on for Rosenbaum. Rosenbaum over for Van Durken! The Moscow Mule with a goal to tie it up at 3 apiece. Jordan Rosenbaum steps up from a defensive position to get in on the play. Just pushes it over for Van Durken, who puts it into the back of the net. Van Durken with the finishing touches there, his second of the year. The Russian who logged 64 points in 49 games last year for the Danbury Hat Tricks. We've got ourselves a games here, folks. Icing called against Athens at 17:46 to go. It's funny, we were talking with Carter McPhail, something that we had talked about was who is one player that you think could be successful in the goaltender position. And he had mentioned Jordan Rosenbaum because he's such an even-keel guy if you ever meet Bomber. And it feels like you saw that there on that move that opened up the chance for Van Durken. Michael Greco laying another big hit behind McPhail this time. Trying to go shove it in short side there was Dominik's Marcinkevich. Feels like these Latvians only know highlight reel goals. Virgili with a dump in. Chris Mott is here with Virgili, along with Gallant as well. Mott on the forecheck lays a hit on Patrick's Marcinkevich. Off the skate of Mott. Rock Lobsters had to be careful there, as there was almost another potential too many men on the ice penalty. Ahead from Garcia to Milan. Falls back to Garcia. Garcia rips a shot into the shins there of Timur Razilov. For those of you just joining us for the third period, Rock Lobsters evened it up at 3 apiece through Gleb Van Durken's second of the year. Jordan Rosenbaum making it look easy on the primary assist. Milan, slight push in the back there on Dominik's. Milan has a little bit of open ice ahead of him. He opts for the pass instead. Mack over to Shinkarik. Pirouette in the crease and a save from Gonzalez. Things are getting heated, and Neely drops the gloves there on Charlie Bedard. Neely, overhand right. Bedard finally gets the right hand free. Neely ties him up on the ice, and the referees will separate him, but not before Neely connected with a few overhand rights. Just like that, it's a Gordie Howe hat trick for Eric Neely. He scores, he assists, and he drops the gloves. Preceding that, however, was brilliant flowing hockey from the Athens Rock Lobsters. All that was missing was the cherry on top, the finishing touch from Carter Shinkarik, who pirouetted in the crease of Gonzalez. But Gonzalez stands tall and makes the save. For those of you who've been tuning in throughout the couple of years, perhaps you don't know what a Gordie Howe hat trick is. It's when one player scores, assists, and fights in one game. Looks like it's all even between the two teams in more ways than one. They'll skate 5 aside. Colatarsi, wide of Gonzalez. Jake Yergenite unable to get a clean touch initially, sends the shot anyway to McPhail. Trevor Lord at the line. Rock Lobsters win it back. Croucher. So good at just bouncing off these checks. Croucher. Cross ice pass for Captain Fantastic. Croucher with a turnaround shot. It's in. Rock Lobsters lead for the first time today. And it's the youngster, Luke Croucher, who's able to make it so. Gonzalez gets caught out for what feels like the first time today, looking for the puck, and Croucher is able to wrap it around and make it 4. This game has been quickly turned on its head through the opening 5 minutes of the third period. Goals from Van Durken and Croucher have given Athens its first lead of the game. Was an extremely slow start for Athens. They came alive in the second period, and they're thriving in the third. So some sustained pressure in their zone from the IceCats here, however. Puck out in front. McPhail makes a save. Rock Lobsters lead for the first time today, and it comes with a 4-3 scoreline. More hockey coming up here. Athens trying to either hold on or add on to this advantage.
As a hockey player, my health is everything to me. When I got injured,
I didn't just worry about missing games. I worried about my future in the sport I love. From the moment I met you and your team at Piedmont Athens Regional, you gave me confidence. Your expertise, your care, your support, it all reassured me from the very start. Because of you, I've been able to recover, rebuild, and get back to playing the sport I love. Can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dream alive. Thanks to Dr. Graff and Piedmont Athens Regional, I get to keep playing the game I love.
The lines got put in the blender in the second period, and it has paid off dividends for Garrett Rutledge and the Rock Lobsters. One of those makeshift lines was the line of Glukharyov, Croucher, and Van Durken. Glukharyov with the primary assists on both Van Durken and Croucher's goal. Right now, that makes it a 3-point night for Glukharyov in his return in Rock Lobster red. Claws are up in the chat here. One-timer out of the draw for Pee Dee. TJ Prexler. Prexler has increased his control on the game thus far. Didn't say his name in the first period, but have seen him emerge more and more as this game has gone on. Greco just about misses the pass to Lowell, but it comes back to the Illinois native. Kayson Gallant getting tied up there with an ice cat. Milan steps up. Eric Neely in the penalty box for his fight earlier on. So Gallant here with Mack and Milan. Two players collide there at the blue line. And hobbling back up to his feet is Skate Scaldi. Looked like an incidental knee-to-knee there potentially with him and Rosenbaum, and Scaldi is forced to leave the ice. It was the first time we said Skate Scaldi's name. His father, Jared Scaldi, a former second-round pick for the New Jersey Devils back in 1989, had 115 games of NHL experience. His father actually the current head coach of the Japanese national team. Face-off will take place here right on the Pee Dee IceCat logo. But not before they try to get the athletic trainer off the ice to go check on Scaldi. Ice Dogs leading 9-0 back home at Akins Ford Arena, where the Athens Rock Lobsters will take the ice tomorrow against the Twin City Thunderbirds at 7:05 p.m. You're going to want to get in your seats as quick as you can when the doors open. Mack from a prone position, trying to get it to the inboards. Milan able to potentially win it back here on the forecheck. Chris Mott gets taken to the glass by Jordan Popoff. Raziloff takes a check from Kolatarsi. Wilson unable to get any mustard on the first time. Some possession here for Pee Dee. Wilson hit from behind on Kolatarsi. I think the linesman has potentially lost a blade of his skate here. He's right in front of the door of the IceCat bench. That could have caused some issues. It looks like he is trying to push off on one foot right now. I believe the linesman has lost a blade of one of his skates. Good save from McPhail on Trevor Lord. We knew who the danger players were going to be for this Pee Dee team coming into the game. Of course, the Mirankiewicz brothers, but also Trevor Lord. The Rock Lobsters haven't been able to keep the Latvians quiet, but right now Trevor Lord hasn't had a huge factor on this game. Back in play here. Glukharyov lifts his head, finds a pass from Greco. Oh my goodness, Croucher, I think off the post. Was almost tic-tac-toe between two Russians and a Canadian. Banderkin, Glukharyov, and Croucher. Here come the IceCats the other way. Wrist shot, right circle. Lord gets saved by McPhail. This line of Glukharyov, Croucher, and Banderkin, there's no doubt something there. The lines that were first deployed by Rutledge at the start of this game had Glukharyov back with Milan and Neely. But the reason the Rock Lobsters lead is because of this young line of the two Russians and the Canadian. Shot from distance was a dangerous one. McPhail deals with it. Virgili trying to chase down Popoff. McPhail out of the crease. No icing, say the officials. Lowell getting placed on this second line with Gallant and Virgili. IceCats with the icing, poetically so. Just over half of this third period remaining. For those of you just joining us, a really quick start for the Pee Dee IceCats. They led 2-0 at the end of the first period. Rock Lobster's first lead of the game came here with this scoreline, 4-3. Croucher almost took it between two Pee Dee players. Glukharyov protects, finds his fellow countryman. Back for Banderkin, gives it away there to Patrick's Marcinkevich. Danger from the left circle. Konstantin Chernik never got the shot off. Pass the line, puck bobbles up on McPhail. Was able to move from west to east to deprive Houston Wilson of a chance. Another dead puck here with 19:43 left. Rock Lobsters have a slight edge at 4-3, their first lead of the day, but there's still almost half of this third period to go. How is this one going to shake out? Stay tuned on the Rock Lobster Network and find out.
Rock Lobster fans, this is Brad Akins. Akins Ford has led the way for years and keeps on growing. From offering the Southeast's largest inventory to being #1 in the nation in Ford truck sales, we're here to serve you. Want to customize your ride? Our Wild Willie's accessories team can make it as unique as you are. Make it legendary. Need service? Our fleet of over a dozen mobile service vans come right to you. Akins Ford and Winder. We really are closer and bigger than you think. Rock Lobsters, let's go.
Reminiscent of the Rock Lobsters' 10-0 win last weekend against Indiana, the Ice Dogs are up 10-0 at Akins Ford Arena. Garrett Milan's number is up on the board for a 2-minute minor. Hooking the call against Milan, and this power play coming at a dangerous time. McPhail with a slight equipment issue there. Will skate back to his crease. IceCats have a power play goal on the night, courtesy of Dominik's Marcinkevich. One of the two tight angle snipes that we've seen scored by a Latvian twin tonight. IceCats with a chance to tie it up on the man advantage. Rock Lobsters on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Puck behind the net. Puck back out in front for Chance Adrian. Doesn't get anything on the shot. Falls back here for Chernik. Patrick's Marcinkevich. How did that one not go in? McPhail, looking like he's making snow angels out there, gets his body over the puck. Committed to one side somehow. Houston Wilson unable to score on that opportunity. Carter McPhail didn't have the opening 20 minutes he wanted in this game. But he has done a good job at keeping the door shut since then. So right now the shots read 29-26 in favor of the Rock Lobsters. And I think what's happening is very similar to what we saw happen in Indiana. The statisticians here, rather, are not counting goals as shots on goal. So I believe it should be 30-29 here. Right, excuse me, 33-29 in favor of the Rock Lobsters. .45 seconds to go on the PK for the Rock Lobsters. Shernick from distance. Lowell tries to one-time it out of the zone. He gets decimated in the corner, and he hasn't stood back up. Virgili tries to take it coast to coast, and the whistle will blow. Jesse Lowell getting back up to his feet. And it looks like we're going to have a fight here. Michael Greco against Alex Ray. Oh, Michael Greco with a big overhand right. Ray will just tie him up and bring him to the ice. Couple of cheap shots while he's there. Alex Ray has been a bit of a nuisance for the Rock Lobsters in this game. A native Swede who moved to the United States either in high school or earlier. This is his first time back on the ice since his pro debut on October 10th here against the River Dragons. And you just hope the best there for Jesse Lowell, who was prone on the ice for quite some time after taking that hit. Didn't see who delivered it. It may have been Ray. Ray has been laying some hits on the forecheck tonight. Michael Greco, the one to take exception. And now Greco is up on his feet, barking something at Ray from over the scores table. So Greco joins both Milan and Neely in the box. Neely there for his fight earlier on in this game. He dropped the claws with Charlie Bedard. Milan 27 seconds away from coming out of the box himself. We'll see how they divvy out the penalties here. Both Greco and Alex Ray obliged each other in taking the gloves off and fighting. We'll see if there's any penalty on the hit to Lowell, which looked like a boarding call to me. We'll see in a couple seconds here if the referee saw it this way. Let's go to a quick commercial break here. Right now, Rock Lobsters up 4-3, but IceCats on the power play. Athens trying to hold on.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Well, both Alex Ray and Michael Greco have been sent back to the locker room since the commercial break. Alex Ray took that time to try and pump up this Pee Dee crowd. Not sure what the call is there. I mean, should be a 5-minute major, I would think, but. So both Ray and Greco getting a game misconduct there. Ray, a native Swede, Michael Greco having played in Sweden earlier on in his career. Tough spot for the Rock Lobsters as Greco is a top 4 D-man that Athens will have to play what is remaining of this 7.5 minutes left in regulation without him. Both teams back at even strength now. Milan streaking through the right side here. Losing side of that puck was Chernik. Milan being granted enough time there to get something back on it. Milan with Mack and Gallant here. Neely shouldn't have too much more time in the box from his fighting major. Virgili able to sweep it in and then try to find a teammate with it. Rosenbaum calm with the puck. Silky there from the man who's just playing his 3rd pro game. Loose, sloppy there from Bowie Slarks. Snapshot from Rosenbaum. Skate Scaldi there on the puck. Scaldi back on the ice after having left the ice after being tangled up with Rosenbaum. Virgili, like a running back, using the stiff arm. Kayson Gallant drops it for Shinkarik. Great save by Gonzalez. Gonzalez has pulled out some highlight reel saves for this matchup against the Athens Rock Lobsters. One back by Glukharyov. And out comes this line that has taken the lead back for Athens, rather given it its first lead of the game. Banderkin, Glukharyov, and Croucher. They'll stay out on the ice here after the icing. Georgia Ice Dogs win 10-1 back home at Akins Ford Arena. A doubleheader tomorrow for the UGA women's team before the Athens Rock Lobsters open up their home account at Akins Ford Arena. If you're not going to be there, what are you doing? I expect you to be there. I expect it to be buzzing. Banderkin up ahead. We've got the Russian Rifle and the newly christened Moscow Mule on one line together. Up ahead, Luke Croucher. Isolated, but being joined here by his line mates. Marcinkevich. Beauty all around, but McPhail is able to brush it off. Going to be a tense 4 minutes for the Rock Lobsters. One time blocked by Joe Kolatarsi. One game we looked up at Akins Ford Arena for the national anthem, and we saw Joe Kolatarsi with a shaved head. That's what I saw today for the national anthem today. Joe Kolatarsi getting into a different zone. The Rock Lobsters have to stay in this zone as there's 3 minutes and 44 seconds before the horn blows. Can the Rock Lobsters hold on?
Is this thing on? Perfect.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve pro, like it never even happened.
3 minutes and 44 seconds is what separates the Rock Lobsters from a come-from-behind win here. Their first ever game at the Florence Center here in South Carolina. Lofted far and away by Austin Pickford. Little slip at center ice. Very, very good to see. Jesse Lowell was the one that dumped in there to see him back on the ice after he took that big hit in the near corner earlier on in this period. Danger here. Eli Rivers in the right circle, centers a pass. No shot came there from Trevor Lord. Virgili unable to cast a spell on that puck. Falls for Lowell. Pickford gets caught up there in possession. Really good win back there from Glukharyov. This new look line of Van Durken, Croucher, and Glukharyov has played a huge part in the story of this game. Glukharyov, 3 assists in his return in Rock Lobsters red. Jurgen Knight. What's my cameraman doing here? There we go. Kind of. IceCats try to cut the ice with a puck. Oh, clever moves once again from Patrick's Marcinkevich. Coming down to the ice and shrugging is Dominic's, who believes he was brought down illegally. Oh, dangerous centering pass! Puck still loose out in front. Can Croucher get it away? Yes, he can. Charlie Bedard, who dropped the gloves earlier on in this period with Eric Neely, very, very close to tying this game up. Glove down here by Eli Rivers. Not getting much on that shot was Chance Adrian. The number of chances for the IceCats in this game are starting to dwindle. 80 seconds left in regulation. If they're able to find another goal in this game, they'll take the oxygen in this building and set it alight. Looks like a timeout called here by the Pee Dee IceCats, trying to draw something up with the offensive zone faceoff. Time is running out for them, but can the Rock Lobsters build a wall in front of their net with the help of Carter McPhail? Stay tuned here and find out. Here's more on opening night, tomorrow night at Akins Ford Arena. The loudest this Pee Dee crowd has been tonight to try and urge their team to tie this game up. 80 seconds separates the Rock Lobsters from a come-from-behind win. Empty net here for the Pee Dee IceCats as they'll get the extra skater on. As Milan tried a shot from miles away. For a margin of seconds, the Pee Dee IceCats at one point led this game 3-1. Since then, there's been 3 unanswered Rock Lobster goals. Neely fighting hard to try and win it off of Dominik's Marcinkewicz. Ooh, that one is off the post. So close to the dagger. Agonizingly so. Patrick's Marcinkewicz. Wilson to the line. Shot from a tight angle. McPhail makes the save. 40.9 seconds left. The Rock Lobsters might rue that opportunity that they missed on the empty net. Comes off the post. Pinballing face-off. Stopped at the line, looking for a deflection out in front. Pickford looking for the short distance deflection from Houston Wilson, and McPhail watches it into his glove. Net stays empty for the IceCats. Milan gets to the faceoff around McPhail's net. Milan tries it from distance. Takes a block off of a Pee Dee player. 20 seconds left. Patrick's Marcinkewicz. Marcinkewicz over the center of the blue line. A little bit of a dangle, but it goes to the end boards. 10 seconds left. Shinkarik trying to pin it there. Puck comes loose. Back in behind. Pickford has to shoot. Instead, he opts for the pass. Dominik's Marcinkewicz. This game is over. Behind at 1 point, 2-0, and then behind again 3-1. The Rock Lobsters score 3 unanswered goals to take the win in their first ever game here on the Florence ice. 2 goals for the IceCats in the first period, but the Rock Lobsters needed to find a new gear in the second. They did exactly that. Eric Neely scored to make it a 2-1 game at the 6:18 mark. About 4 minutes later, another tight angle snipe from a Latvian twin. That time it was Patrick's Marcinkewicz to make it a 3-1 game. 14 seconds after that, Garrett Milan draws Athens back to within 1. The combination of the 2 veterans, Milan and Neely again. And then this new-look line that came out in the second period and made the difference in the third. The line of Glukharyov, Croucher, and Bandurkin. Bandurkin with a goal, Glukharyov with the primary assist to make it a 3-3 game. And then Luke Croucher, the rookie, with the game-winning tally to make it a 4-3 contest. That makes our scoreline where it is, and the Rock Lobsters win. A little tip of the hat there at center ice from Austin Pickford. We'll see if we have 3 stars here tonight, but first let's take a look at some of the other scores around the FPHL. Port Huron Prowlers with a 3-0 lead. That game is edging towards its end. So is the contest between the Binghamton Black Bears and the Watertown Wolves, still 5-4 in that game. Blue Ridge with a 5-1 lead over Twin Cities. And then the Monroe Moccasins are now starting to find their groove, looking for their first win of the season, up 4-2. Still waiting to see if they're going to announce 3 stars here for this game. But that gives me enough time to tell you all about tomorrow night. The stage is set. The Rock Lobsters against the Twin City Thunderbirds, a team that means a lot to head coach Garrett Rutledge, the place where he won an FPHL Coach of the Year award. All right, if they're not going to announce 3 stars here in the arena, I guess I'll announce 3 of them myself. Third star of the night is going to go to one of those Latvian twins. A goal and 2 assists for Dominiks Marcinkevits. Second star of the night is going to go to Daniil Glukharyov, who had 3 assists in his return in Rock Lobsters red. Only 1 goal and 1 point on the night, but what an important point it was. Luke Croucher with the game-winning goal will go out as the first star of the night. The rookie looking forward to continuing to make an impact. He already has 7 points through 3 games. He'll make his home debut tomorrow night. Well, fans, here I am from the bowels here of the Florence Civic Center, looking out as a bird's eye view over the battlefield where we just watched the Rock Lobsters come from behind and win 4-3 in their first ever game against the Pee Dee IceCats. But the work is not done on the weekend. The Rock Lobsters will have to travel 4+ hours back home, try to get some sleep if they can even sleep, because they know what's ahead. They know they're going to see you tomorrow night. I hope to see you tomorrow night. If you haven't already, secure your tickets now to be a part of the action and see your favorite team play. The Rock Lobsters against the Twin City Thunderbirds tomorrow at 7:05 p.m. Of course, if you can't make it, you can always catch us here on the Athens Rock Lobsters Network. Matt Rad here from the Florence Civic Center. The Rock Lobsters come from behind and win 4-3. We'll see you tomorrow night